World War I ended in 1918, millions died, and Europe was in ruins. The victors blamed Germany and created the Treaty of Versailles. This harsh treaty aimed to cripple Germany to prevent another war. It forced Germany to give up land, limited its military, and imposed huge reparations. Germany was banned from joining the League of Nations, meant to keep peace. Signed in 1919, many Germans felt humiliated and saw the treaty as unfair. This anger fueled extremist groups promising to restore German pride and tear up the treaty. The treaty created resentment, not peace, setting the stage for future conflict. The seeds of World War II were planted. The victors thought they were preventing war but were creating conditions for an even bigger one. The shadow of World War I loomed large over Europe. The Treaty of Versailles hit Germany hard, crippling its economy. Massive reparations drained resources, and the German currency lost value. By 1923, hyperinflation made savings worthless. A loaf of bread could cost billions of marks, and workers were paid twice a day. This period destroyed the middle class, making many Germans poor overnight. The economic crisis created political instability, and people lost faith in democracy. They looked for someone to blame: the government, the Treaty of Versailles, or minority groups. The chaos created fertile ground for extremism. By the late 1920s, foreign loans helped stabilize the economy, but the recovery was short-lived. The Great Depression hit in 1929, plunging Germany back into crisis. Unemployment soared, and people were desperate, ready to listen to anyone who promised solutions. Adolf Hitler joined the Nazi Party in 1919. A powerful speaker, he tapped into people's anger and fear, promising to restore German pride and tear up the Treaty of Versailles. The Nazi Party grew quickly, and although Hitler's 1923 coup failed, his imprisonment allowed him to write Mein Kampf. This book outlined his hateful ideology, resonating with many Germans. After prison, Hitler rebuilt the Nazi Party, and the Great Depression helped him gain support. He blamed Germany's problems on Jews, communists, and foreigners, promising jobs and prosperity. In 1933, Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. Once in power, he eliminated opposition, banned other political parties, and took control of the media. Germany became a dictatorship, and Hitler began to rearm the country, ignoring the Treaty of Versailles. Other countries watched but did little, and Hitler's power grew stronger. The Great Depression started in the United States and quickly spread worldwide. Stock markets crashed, banks failed, businesses closed, and millions lost their jobs. The global economy collapsed, becoming the worst economic crisis in modern history. Different countries responded in various ways. The US introduced the New Deal, Britain cut spending, and Germany saw Hitler's rise. The Depression had political consequences, with people losing faith in capitalism and turning to communism or fascism. Governments became more isolationist, focusing on their own problems, which decreased international cooperation. This made it harder to respond to global threats. Countries became more aggressive, seeking to protect their economies. Japan invaded Manchuria in 1931, Italy invaded Ethiopia in 1935, and Germany started to rearm. The world, focused on economic problems, failed to respond effectively to these aggressions. As Hitler grew more aggressive, other countries tried to avoid war through appeasement. They hoped giving Hitler what he wanted would satisfy him and prevent war. Led by Britain and France, they signed the Munich Agreement in 1938, giving Hitler part of Czechoslovakia. The British Prime Minister called it peace for our time, but he was wrong. Hitler soon took all of Czechoslovakia, and appeasement failed. It misunderstood Hitler's goals. He wanted to dominate Europe, not compromise. Each concession made him bolder, showing Britain and France were weak and giving him time to build up his military. Critics like Winston Churchill warned against appeasement, comparing it to feeding a crocodile, hoping it will eat you last. By 1939, it was clear appeasement had failed and war seemed inevitable. By 1939, Hitler wanted Poland, and Britain and France had enough. They promised to defend Poland, but Hitler made a secret pact with the Soviet Union to divide Poland. On September 1, 1939, German forces invaded Poland with Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War. The Polish army was overwhelmed, and Warsaw fell by the end of the month. Britain and France declared war on Germany on September 3, honoring their promise to Poland. World War II had officially begun. The Soviet Union invaded Poland from the east on September 17, dividing Poland as agreed. The war spread quickly, with Germany invading Denmark and Norway in 1940, then turning to Western Europe. France fell in just 6 weeks, and Britain stood alone against Nazi Germany. The United States stayed neutral at first, not entering the war until 1941. By then, much of Europe was under Nazi control.